Good afternoon. My name is Jamie Hammond, and I'm a biological scientist with UF IFAS, focusing primarily on efforts within the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve. I will be presenting a brief background on the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve. Aquatic preserves are submerged lands that are protected and managed by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. The primary goal of the Aquatic Preserve program is to maintain the preserve's biological, scientific, and aesthetic value for future generations to enjoy. There are currently 42 aquatic preserves throughout the state of Florida, protecting over 2.6 million acres of submerged resources. The aquatic preserves bring an increased level of awareness to our submerged resources throughout Florida. Resource managers and researchers are working together to further understand ecosystem services and issues within these protected waters to advance management goals throughout the state. The overarching goal of this presentation is to introduce the namesake of the series, the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve. This aquatic preserve was designated in June of 2020 as Florida's 42nd aquatic preserve. It encompasses more than 455,000 acres and spans 3 counties along Florida's Gulf Coast: Citrus, Hernando, and Pasco County. The Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve also has 7 contributing rivers, with Withlacoochee just to the north of its northern border, the Crystal and Homosassa rivers in Citrus County, Chassahowitzka and Weeki rivers in Hernando County, and Pithlacascody and Anclote rivers in Pasco County. A few state and federal neighboring managed areas include Wakasasa Bay Preserve, Crystal River Preserve, and Werner Boyce State Parks, Chassahowitzka National Wildlife Refuge, as well as Big Bend Seagrasses, St. Martin's Marsh, and Pinellas County Aquatic Preserves. This area is significant in that it is one of the last coastal areas with minimal developmental influences, and all 7 contributing rivers are classified as outstanding Florida waters. Because of this, the Nature Coast region's vast submerged resources are a prime candidate to be studied to aid in the creation of adaptive management strategies that can be applied to other areas around the state. Threats to this area in particular include population growth, water quality concerns, and negative impacts to the resources such as propeller scarring. Here is a brief timeline visualizing the work it took to get to where the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve is today. To highlight just a few of these, in 2018, with the encouragement of Pew Charitable Trust, what has been described as a true grassroots effort began when local citizens voiced the need for protection of this coastal area as water quality and seagrass meadows were declining around the state. In June of 2020, these efforts were successful when Governor DeSantis signed the executive order designating the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve as the 42nd aquatic preserve in Florida. The University of Florida joined these efforts in January of 2021 through a contract with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to further the efforts in management. The university aided in this effort by hosting the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve Management Plan process. This process occurred in 2 phases. Phase 1 included the creation of the background content for the plan. This was accomplished through extensive literature reviews as well as 41 one-on-one interviews conducted via phone call, Zoom meeting, and in-person interaction. Phase 2 of the management plan process included a series of public and advisory committee meetings. 175 people contributed in this effort over 3 public meetings, and 29 stakeholders blended this public input with their knowledge of the Nature Coast during 4 management advisory committee meetings. The 4 main issues derived from these workshops pertain to water resources, protection and management of submerged resources, climate change, and human dimensions. The product, the first Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve Management Plan. This plan will be put before the Acquisition and Restoration Council in December of 2022 by DEP's Office of Resilience and Coastal Protection, and to the Board of Trustees to hopefully be adopted at a date to be determined in 2023. The university is currently under contract with DEP to complete monthly water quality sampling through Project Coast and conduct annual submerged aquatic vegetation assessments within the region. Data collected through these programs add to baseline data sets for this area. Project Coast data can be used to ensure that the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve waters meet or exceed water quality standards associated with their designated use, and annual vegetative surveys can be used to determine change over time for the resource. Data from both programs are available on DEP's statewide Ecosystem Assessment of Coastal and Aquatic Resources Data Discovery Interface, as well as at the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve dashboard. The university is also raising awareness to Nature Coast Aquatic Preserves resources and their implications through various outlets, like engaging in scientific conversations, similar to the seminar series, and education and outreach opportunities. We are also collaborating with neighboring aquatic preserves on adjoining resource projects, conducting marine debris removal events, and assisting area researchers when applicable. Here are a few links to some useful information provided in this presentation, and thank you for showing interest in the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve.